It's Tiffany's Content, and Winter Storm Finn is still out there bringing along blizzards, tornadoes, flooding, -50 temperatures, wind gusts that are sweeping across the U.S. Let's get right into the action. You can see there on the West Coast, it's blizzards forming over there in Washington, Oregon, headed right over to Idaho, going down into Utah. Then you got them right over the Four Corners in Texas, going into Kansas, Colorado, now Nebraska. And then you have that severe weather in the Gulf. All that red brought tornadoes last night in Florida. It's definitely happening over there in the Midwest as well. And it's going to take everything over to the East Coast with rain. And look at all this wind and blizzards in the orange. That is all blizzards right over Texas, right there in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, definitely Colorado, coming out of New Mexico. Look at Washington, Oregon, Idaho. All those have blizzards, and it's going right into the Midwest. Look at that hard freezing down in Arizona and all that wind activity from Texas all the way to Florida. And look at the flooding on the East Coast. It is definitely some things to talk about today. Let's look at that goals. Looking at the map, you can see just where that green is, where all the lightning and thunderstorms is right now, right over Texas, bringing severe thunderstorm activities, and definitely all that blue clouds and water and precipitation coming in. Look at all of this map here. It has a lot of mixed precipitation in the Gulf. All that is hazard, severe warning. Look at all that mixed precipitation in the Central Plains. Snow all coming down in the Midwest. This is what it feels like today. -10 up there in North Dakota, South Dakota, 0. -10 in the Great Falls, in the mountains. Of course, it's warmer near the Gulf, but that is sprucing up some storms as it meet with that cold winter air. And looking at the snow depth, you can see over on the West Coast, going into the Great Falls, down into the mountains, down into Colorado. You're going to see some deep depth in there, 20, 17, but then you're going to see some newly fallen snow, 5 inches, 1 inch here and there. This is for the next 24 hours. So you're going to see a lot of snow coming in right there in the Midwest. I told you yesterday, those blizzards was headed that way, 4 to 8 inches over there. Definitely near North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. Definitely cold going into Chicago, Wisconsin. It's definitely taking a toll on that West Coast as well. This is the 48-hour snow map, and it's definitely some on the East Coast as well. It is beginning to look a lot like winter. Okay, let's look at that frost freeze temperature for today, and you can see that over there in that West Coast, that 7, that 9, that was where all that cold air is. Look at that negative temperatures coming out of Canada. That's dropping right down into the Midwest and bringing on some lake effect snow. Looking at the current temperatures today, you're going to see where all that purple and that blue is. That's where most of the cold air is. But then look at the south where all that red is. That El Nino, that warm, is meeting up with that cold, and it's sprucing up some storms. Switching gears to the wind, look at the negative temperatures, -16 over there near Nevada, -6 over there. Look at the wind chill. It's definitely cold over there. It's a little bit warmer in the south, but again, that is sprucing up the storms. This is the rain for just today, and look at all this rain just for today. The Gulf is a lot of attention on there. This is the current hazards. You can see Alaska have heavy winds, high winds over there, but look at that hazardous clouds right above our heads up the north, definitely going into the Midwest, heavy snow. Look at all that heavy wind in the south, and definitely snow and rain. These are the severe maps that we are focused on today. Lightning, thunderstorms, even tornadoes across the board. This is the rain, and this is going to give you just the amount that we're expecting. But again, is when they're making these maps, pay close attention to it. Nothing is exact, but this is just showing you what could happen and the probability. So this is going into even day 4 and even day 5. We'll see. They are very serious about putting these hazards and alerts out there, warnings and watches, so that people can be aware. Okay, let's look at that meso discussion, and you can see right above Texas, they're having that blizzard-like temperature, and this is huge for the early morning. And let's take a look at the names, the winter storm names for this year, going back to 2023, 2024 winter. Okay, and we're already down to Finn. right there. And Finn is taking a toll on the entire United States, from west to east, from north to south, definitely even in the Gulf. The next one is Jerry. Let's take a look at the GFS model. This is the screenshot for Tuesday. So let's take a look at the run, and definitely showing a lot of rain, precipitation, thunderstorms, lightning right down in the south, going up into East Coast. Definitely a lot of snow, full of snow in the Midwest. Even on the East Coast with all that bad weather, it's nasty. Looking at this wind now, this is huge. This wind gust can get up to 65 miles per hour. So let's take a look at that run. And this is starting for today, going into the next couple of days. And look at all this wind right now in Texas, coming right over into Florida, going up that East Coast. It's a lot of wind gusts that'll be coming through starting as early as tonight. Okay, let's look at the current surface map, and you can see where all that high pressure and that low pressure is kind of meeting together and forming some storms over there on the west coast. All that mixed precipitation is coming in. You see that cold front, also all those rain fronts coming through. Definitely some snow that is ahead of it, and it's all pushing in. Let's take a look at the east coast, and you're going to see all that cloud and that rain in the Gulf, definitely sprucing up that stationary front that's right below Florida, that's helping it stay stationary. And let's take a look at all that precipitation that's coming up into the Gulf with all that lightning and thunderstorms meeting right in the Midwest where all that snow is. Now let's take a look. Really later on tonight, it's going to be a lot of storms going on as well. Looking into Monday and Tuesday, a lot of threats. Okay, so let's take a look at this. It's basically an overnight situation, a huge line of storms from west to east, and tomorrow it's going to be even bigger threat. Basically a line of storms going to the southeast with damaging wind and chance of tornadoes and a stronger side, more definitely. So make sure you're all taking this seriously. Everybody should need to be on alert. It can start as early as this afternoon, going right into the Mississippi River and then heading up the East Coast. So it's a big probability for wind gusts and strong activity in the area. So make sure that you're aware. It's going to bring a lot of rain just over in the south. Now make sure you are checking your local listings for all this severe information. I am just a messenger. Looking right at that vapor map, you can see where all that moisture, that precipitation, all that snow and all that rain, all that cold blue clouds, all that thunder and lightning in the red and the yellow, definitely coming through. You can see where all that mixed precipitation is taking a toll on the west coast, the Midwest, and the south. Winter Storm Finn is here. Make sure that you're all aware, you're checking your local listings, you're actually staying tuned and subscribing to Tiffany's Content. I am here daily giving you information that you need to go on with your journeys, okay? I just want everybody to be safe. I love doing the weather. It's Tiffany's Content. Like, share, subscribe.